Hey, folks, thank you for tuning in to another episode here. So, I've had a request of doing more frequent episodes. I'm going to keep them a little bit shorter. Hopefully, let's try to do it under 5 minutes or less, but doing it on a regular basis because people are saying that they're getting good quick hits that they're able to implement on a regular basis throughout their day that helps them perform at their optimal level. So that's what I'm going to do going forward here. So today I want to ask you this question, which is, do you treat your team members as athletes? So we are all in business, but do we treat our team members, our staff, our employees, people on our team as athletes? Because I can tell you from my experience that I would say 99% of organizations do not. And here's the difference between sports teams, military teams, and business teams. Sports teams have to perform at their optimal level. Military teams have to perform at their optimal level. Business teams don't always have to perform at their optimal level. In fact, business teams very frequently and regularly perform below an optimal level. In fact, from our research, what we've identified is 9 out of 10 people in the business world are operating between 30 to 70% of their potential. So there is a lot more performance that we can get out of our team members. And I don't want it to sound like we're wringing the squeezing every little drop out of that lemon or that orange to get as much juice as possible. I'm talking about it for their sake as well. Every human being has an innate desire to reach their highest potential, to perform at their highest level. This is one of the reasons why the next generation is actually leaving as well, is because they're going into environments where they're not getting the optimal level of support that they need to reach their full potential. And then we point the fingers at them. But there's three things that are uniquely, I'm going to say, different when it comes to business teams versus military teams or sports teams. This is very important for us to understand, because if we start to think of our team members as athletes, then we can actually help them. We can actually get them to really get to their full potential. We can actually identify what's stopping them. And that's very important for us to really get to that level of performance that we want as an organization, because what percentage of your revenues come from, either directly or indirectly, as a result of the people on your team? Okay, so if you're a service-based business, it could be 80%. If you're a product-based business, perhaps it's 50%. But think about this. If most of your workforce is operating 30 to 70%, then what is that doing for your revenues? Where's the opportunity there? So this is the first element that's different. Number one, we have to push them. We don't push them strong enough or hard enough in the business world. In fact, right now, what's happening, particularly with the young generation, is we're so afraid that we're afraid of pushing them to a level that they're actually going to break. They will break if we don't do two things in particular. Number one, we have to give them the tools and resources. And number two, we have to give them the support. Okay, so we have to push people on our team like athletes, but we also have to be able to give them the resources they need to be able to implement the stuff that we're pushing them to do. So it has to be done in the right way. Secondly, we have to train them vigorously. This is a big difference between whether it's military or sports teams, is they are training 85 to 95% of the time. Okay, and so in the business world, it's a complete opposite. We're performing 85 to 95% of the time. So sports and teams, they perform 5 to 15%. Business teams, we perform 85 to 95% of the time. So what does that mean? That means that we are not doing enough vigorous training. We're trying to be out there on the battlefield, but we're not getting our stuff together. We're not training our people effectively. In fact, training is optional in many organizations. I find this so hilarious that we ask our people to perform at such a high level, yet we don't train them effectively. So we have to get better at training. And for me, training isn't training. It's not training and development as an optional line. This is what we call mission critical operations. Your people operating at their top level is mission critical. It's an operational expense. It's not a training and development expense. It's not something that's discretionary that we cut back when things are tough. It's something that we double down on when things are tough, because those people are the people that are going to get us through these challenges. So I find this, again, uniquely hilarious that we expect so much from our people, yet we don't have these mission critical training programs, you can say, and systems for these individuals. We do the bare minimum. And so the third element is we really got to create a team camaraderie. This is the difference. Okay, so team building, yay, whoopee. That may work or may not work. We got to create camaraderie. That's what it is. And camaraderie is you can tell when a team is gelling or not simply by a number of different factors. But here's one of the most important ones is I got your back. Okay, so if you're in the military or you're in sports, something happens. Each player knows that the other players got their back. And it's our responsibility to make sure we got everybody else's back as well. So not only is my back covered, but I know that I'm going to cover everybody else's back as well. That's how we create team camaraderie. And again, I'm going to say 9 out of 10 teams are not at that level. They act all cordial when they're in a boardroom and they're talking to each other. And you might have, some great brainstorming sessions, but then everybody disperses and does their own thing. And then you have back talk, you have triangulation, and you have this corporate drama that ends up happening. You got to get rid of that. Everything here is mission critical. If we treat it that way, then they have no option but to have each other's back. So I promised you I'm going to try to keep this under 5 to 6 minutes. We're just over 6 minutes, but this is very important. I'm going to repeat the same question here. Do you treat your team members as athletes? Because if you're not, you absolutely need to get them to their fullest potential and their highest level of performance. That's how your organization becomes the best of the best.